videos and said, you a pretty girl, but you 50 and you single. You don't think you the problem? First of all, who 50? First of all, who look 50? We're gonna start there. Now, I'm 45. I look 45, but I don't look 50. Like, my instant reaction was almost your mama, but, you know, that's not what God wanted me to do. But that was my first reaction. But he said, you probably the problem. And so, like, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about why am I single? And be clear, single in my world means unmarried. Engaged don't count. Going together real bad don't count. The only thing that counts to me is when your last name is no longer that of one of your parents or your ex-husband in my case. I am single. And so it's like, let's talk about it. Because, yeah, they really gathered me up. Like, you can fix everybody else. You can tell everybody else what they need to do. You got a diagnosis for everything. What about you? And I said, well, I want to say it's the men, but I can't say that because I actually date amazing men. I meet amazing men. I meet amazing, gorgeous men at that. Let me be clear. I date only fine shit. Fine, gainfully employed, 6-figure, no drama, typically no kids, typically never been married, educated, loves the Lord. Like, I typically date well, but I am unmarried at almost 50, not 50, but almost 50. So, yeah. So we're going to spend this next week or so figuring out what's wrong with me. Since the man said it got to be something wrong with me. It's got to be me. So, like, let's talk about it.
I know it's...
Yeah, it is you. It is you, Eve, all the way live. It's you. So let me just start off by giving all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikad Kodash, and double honor to the men of Great Millstone that's out there on the highway and byway, pushing this truth day in and day out, also pushing the truth over the worldwide internet, reaching the elect to pull them out of a 2/3 state of mind so that we can be beamed up on those chairs of salvation to live in the kingdom under King David and the supreme King Yahweh Shai, which he has the title of command and authority and rulership over heaven and earth. Though title was given to Yahweh Shai by his father Yahweh. Also, I'm not a member of GMS, but I believe GMS has the 100% truth of the Bible. To the Akim and Akawa, which are the men and women that are listening, learning, continue to pray for more faith, repent, and fast, and keep the laws and commandments to the best of your ability. As it states in John 14:15, if ye love me, keep my commandment. Also, Ecclesiastes 12:13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandment, for this is the whole duty of man. See, we got to understand that we are living in a kingdom where we're going to go right here, where Esau states that, hold on, that ain't what I want. I thought it was Jeremiah. Where where Esau, since he's in power, he gives women the authority over men to go gag abroad, to go jump on that cart carousel, to have that Smokey Robinson spirit go shop around. Jeremiah 31:22. So women got power to go gagging abroad, right? How long will thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. So she had been given liberty to go do as she pleased, right? And Esau with his Salaki, hold on, this ain't what I wanted. Turning things upside down. Just give me 1 minute. Let me find this right quick. That might be Isaiah. Yeah, Isaiah. Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the pot of clay. And that's Esau. He wanted to be a god in the earth. He's contrary against the Bible. He gives women like this woman right here. Salaki, what's going on here? Come on. Like this woman right
Somebody
here.
got under one of my.
The ability to do what she do. Women taking trips around the world by themselves. Women wearing, scandalous, clothes, apparel. Knowing that they are a easy prey for these, these no good niggas out here to, put you in somebody's dungeon, and never to be seen again. But this man here give our women the power to rule over men. Jeremiah 31:22. He had twisted everything that is our belief in the Bible. He changes things upside down, to keep us in sin, to keep, our people living in an unrighteous, society, unrighteous life, and our women are not supposed to be, gadding abroad. She's supposed to be with a man, not to go get with this guy and that guy and that guy and that guy. Let me go here. Go to Amos 7 and 11, because Esau have turned our women into harlots. Said, therefore, thus said the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and Babylon is a city which we live in, and wherever else we are scattered, because we under other nations of people also that don't give a damn about us. So, they're not, keeping the righteous law of Yahweh B'Shem Avashai, that the Israelite, who the Israelite, serve. We serve Yahweh B'Shem Avashai. We don't serve no Buddha. We don't serve no Muhammad. But a lot of our people are in those, doctrines, those strange doctrines, So Esau have turned out our women to be a harlot. Again, therefore, thus saith the Lord, that wife should be a harlot. So, like I said, due to Esau being in rulership, he rules in a perverse, unrighteous way. That calls our men to be feminine and momos. Calls our women to be masculine and to be, harlots. To be prostitutes. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 25 and 25, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says here, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gag abroad. So this is the reason why, as she said out of her own mouth, that she been with. Tell you what, I'm let her say it. I'm gonna let her say it.
My videos and said, you a pretty girl, but you 50 and you single. You don't think you the problem? First of all, who 50? First of all, who look 50? We're gonna start there. Now, I'm 45. I look 45, but I don't look 50. Like, my instant reaction was almost your mama, but, that's not what God wanted me to do. But that was my first reaction. But he said, you probably the problem. And so, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about, why am I single? And be clear, single in my world means unmarried. Engaged don't count.
And she's triggered. That's, that there kind of knocked her off her block. But for as she's saying that Marriage is marriage. She's single, is not engaged, not boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Listen, once you lay down with a man, biblically, when the first man you lay down, that's your husband. You was married to him. But this is not what this kingdom has taught our people. Like I said, we are a destroyed. That's why they label the children of Israel lost children of Israel, because we don't know our heritage. We don't know our power. We don't know the 613 laws of the Bible, to live by. We live the way Esau have trained us to live. And she think that she's not married. Every woman here in the United States, if you had sex with a man, you are married. It just it's just the law of the land wants you to go to the court, go to the church, sign a piece of paper, and now it's legal through the state, But we didn't have that during the time, in those biblical times. We didn't have that. It's just to keep record. This is Esau. He wanna keep tabs on everything. That's why he got a military base damn near on every continent, because he want to police the whole world, and I'm not trying to get off subject, but our people believe that, marriage is going to City Hall or going to the church and get married. That's not sex, is marriage. So she got plenty of husbands. She finna tell you, from all that gag abroad, these guys probably, flying her out. She love go to the movie, go to the restaurant, go on trips with different guys and stuff like that. That's why she can't find anybody right now. But let me just let her finish this out.
Going together real bad don't count. The only thing that counts to me is when your last name is no longer that of one of your parents or your ex-husband. In my case, I am single, and so it's like, let's talk about it. Because, yeah, they really gathered me up. Like, you can fix everybody else. You can tell everybody else what they need to do. You got a diagnosis for everything. What about you? And I said, well, I don't want to say it's the men, but I can't say that because I actually date amazing men. I meet amazing men. I meet amazing, gorgeous men at that. Let me be clear. I date only fine shit. Fine, gainfully employed, 6-figure, no drama, typically no kids, typically never been married.
See, and that's what Esau produced here in Babylon. Our women have become whores. They are not taught, a virgin woman getting with a man and staying with their man. See, and this is the reason why a lot of our women cannot parabond, because she been with too many men, too many rods, and she got too many spirits in her. She can't make a decision on what she wants. You can't never satisfy most of these women. You can't never satisfy them, no matter how good of a man you are, no matter what you have done for her, no matter if you saved her life, no matter if you married her, by the state, and you took care of all the bills. She cannot be satisfied. She just cannot, because of the many different spirits that she allowed into her. So when she get with a guy, like she said, she dealt with fine men, 6-figure. I don't know if she said 6 feet in height. She pretty much said that she had the best of the best, the cream of the crop, but she's still single. So if you had the best of the best, cream of the crop, 6-figure, fine man. Listen, that man that told you that was you, yes, is you, because you cannot parabond, because you been with one guy and he get bored. He get bored to you. And then you start reminiscing on the other guys that did this, and this guy that you with currently, he's not doing what the other guy doing. And you miss that. Or you want something new because that's what you're used to. You are used to swinging from from rod to rod, from vine to vine. That's why you can't settle down with one guy, because you feel that you missing something. It's always a it's this show back in the 80s. I want to say maybe in 84, called came on NBC, called Amazing Story. You know, she's looking for that amazing story, something that's going to capture her, and that's going to be it. But it's never going to be it, you know, because this is what's in your DNA. You got multiple sperms in your DNA. You got multiple spirits in your DNA, and you cannot settle your ass down. You know, I'm gonna give you an example of this right here, because this woman right here, you know, she ain't no bad looking woman, you know, but the deal is, you can see the age in her face. And she ain't bad for, 45, but I'm just saying, when somebody say, and I hear this here all the time, when guys would say, hey, that wall, WAL, WALL, Salakia, is undefeated. And when I think of that wall, when I hear that wall, it's pretty much this right here. Because a lot of these older guys, that have substance that these women are looking for, you're not going to be looked at anymore. These older guys are going to be looking at the young girls. So let's say that this 45-year-old woman, she's still trying to keep herself on the market. That's why she can't settle down, because she thinks that she's missing something. And she loved being on, she loved being put on the market for somebody to come check her out, show her some attention, spend a little money on her to pull her off that wall. But after a while, those guys ain't gonna be looking at her no more. And those guys, they're gonna be picking those young women that's out there on the market, standing up on the wall waiting to get picked, and you're gonna be the only one standing on that wall every day, all day. It's gonna be over. Once you hit that wall, that's it for most women. Not saying that a woman in her 50s is still not attractive. No, I'm not saying it. There are some women in their 60s that would shame a 30 or 40-year-old woman in look and figures and body, her figure. It's all about how you take care of yourself. And for using your body up dealing with a bunch of guys, you age quick as a woman. When you out there in those streets and you running from rod to rod, it will age you. But anyway, Salakia, let me finish this right here. And that's what she's doing. She gagging abroad. She dealing with multiple men. And that's not what a woman's supposed to be. She's supposed to be with one husband. Read Romans 7, and I want to say 1 and 2, where the woman, she is bound to her husband by law. Also, you can read that also in 1 Corinthians 7 and I think 32. You're not supposed to be hoe-hopping. You're not supposed to be doing that, Let me see, it was something else I wanted to throw in, because a lot of women, they feel that, let's go to Proverbs, what is it, 20 and 30? Or 30, Proverbs 30, 30 and 20. Because this woman right here, she feel that it's okay to live this single life and, do what she do. I'm not really pointing her out, but she dealing with multiple men. And I don't know if this her thing, but you have women, they're what they do, Said Proverbs 30 and 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. And she is a adulterous woman. She cheating on all her husbands. From the first one on on up to the last one that been with her. It says, if such is the way of an adulterous woman, she eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wickedness. And this woman right here, she's fit that category. She really do. And also, in biblical time, this woman right here would bring shame to her father's house. Because she's out there, spreading her goodness. Let's go here. Yeah, I'm gonna read 12 too. The Ecclesiastes 26 and 12 said, when she opened her mouth as a thirsty traveler, when he had found a fountain, and drink of every water near her, by every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. And for people that are in the truth, this talking about a whorish woman. She's she's searching for that next six-figure man, that fine man, that 6 feet tall man that got it all together. She's searching for that, and when she find that, she gonna spread her legs. And she gonna let any and every man that fit her category, to come in her quiver. She gonna open her legs and let all them arrows, all them different guys come in and settle their little soldiers into her. Point blank period. And this right here says Ecclesiastes 26 and 22, and harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is entitled against death to her husband. So, this woman here, she's she's a harlot, and also she's a shameless woman. She getting on here telling you, how many guys that she been with. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. Meaning, if she's shamefaced, she's gonna follow the ways of the Lord. She's gonna try her best to be pure as possible. A virgin if possible. And this day and time, it's hard to find a 21-year-old virgin. It's like a diamond in the rough. But if a woman 21 and she's in the truth, she's gonna save herself for that right man, that righteous man. And then hopefully in most cases her father is in her life, and he can guide her and direct her on what man to pick. But so many of our women, bring dishonor to her husband and also to her father. Because it says here, where is that? Okay, it might be, let's see, let's go up, 36 maybe. Well, I'm about to find, it might be 39, but let me just read this here. It says here, Ecclesiastes 36 and 24. Well, I'm going to read 24 and 25. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself as a pillar of rest. She don't want to be nobody husband. She don't want to be tied down with no one man. She don't want to put away what she feel is right and good for her to be a helpmate for him, to build what he got going on up, to build up a legacy or whatever. No, she ain't, and she don't want to be possessed. You know, because a man, when he get a wife, that's his possession. And our women today, you know, they will listen to their boss because they get a paycheck. But when it come down to protection from your husband, and he paying the bills and shit like that, you know, your car break down, he's there to, get you off the side of the road, get it fixed. You know, you look over that, you disregard all that, and you slander him. You know, you talk down towards him. But when it comes down to Esau and their job, yes sir, you know, and you're not a pillar of rest, mouthing off, argumentative, don't want to be submissive. Go tell your mama. You ain't my daddy. Shit like that. I'm grown. I'm independent. And see, when you hear that, it's time to go ahead and let that go. She's no good to you. 25. Where there no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. So by her having no man to guide her, to protect her, their possession is spoiled, is destroyed. Because she's free will to, do as she please. Esau backing her up, and she's not going to listen to a righteous man that's telling her righteous things. She's going to go off how she feel, what she think, what her mama and auntie and best friend down the street told her. She going to have that happy life, happy wife, attitude, a way of thinking. She ain't trying to be under nobody's possession. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. See, in biblical time, men, the prize for a man was a young virgin that never was touched. In this day and time, you ain't gonna find that. So, if a man couldn't find a virgin, he'll be wandering up and down, mourning, because he's sexually deprived because all the women either are taken, have, husbands or whatever, or, these women are just straight harlot. He don't want to take nothing home to mama or daddy. You have a marriage ceremony and then they put a towel under you and she don't bleed. Uh-oh, something happened. See, but in this day and time, living under Esau's kingdom, a lot of brothers, we have to deal with that, knowing that she been with another guy. And then she can compare you. and try to use that to attack your manhood. Well, my last boyfriend did this, and he was much better at that. And that right there would cause a flame to ignite, in seconds to some guys. See, it's supposed to be a woman dealing with one man at a time, and that man, when he dies, then she go to another man. See, there have been cases where a woman only seen, in biblical time, only seen one rod all of her entire life, and that was her husband. And they probably, lived in the late 70s and 80s, and that woman don't have that torch down there no more. That get hot down there, get moist down there for another rod after he left, because the Heavenly Father took that away. Because there have been, a lot of women in this day and time, been with their husband 50, 60 years, and they don't remarry. They don't have that itch anymore. So you had some women during those times only knew one rod. She didn't know the difference between, her husband and some other guy. In this day and time, these women, they have images or remember many different rods. And don't be surprised if she reminiscing on while you banging, she reminiscing off another man's rod. And full of DNA from all those men. Let me see if she said anything else.
Educated, loves the Lord. Like, I typically date well, but I am unmarried at almost 50, not 50, but almost 50. So yeah, so we're gonna spend this next week or so figuring out what's wrong with me.
Yeah, and she think that shit cute. Well, I'm telling you, you keep on doing what you're doing. When that wall comes, you're going to be face to face with that wall. You're going to be the only one left standing with all them young girls that's out there on the market, and you in your mind, thinking that you still got it. You still got the look. I'm still on the market. I'm still dating these guys, but there's going to be a point where those guys, they ain't going to look at you no more. I'm giving you a prime example. I was dealing with this girl. I dealt with her a couple of times, and she was, young and vibrant. Yeah, had a nice body on her and stuff like that. And then after a while, it seemed like the Lord just sucked her dry. Her look, her feet, everything. Just, like the Lord just sucked all the life out of her. And when I saw her, I couldn't even look at her. I'd hurry up and turn my head. I didn't want her to know that I was there. Because I didn't want nobody to see her saying, hey, getting all in my face. I hurry up and turn away. And she saw that. And I know that hurt. So that's another example of you still trying to advertise your body, and you had all these different guys that that you was dealing with, enjoyed yourself with, went on trips with, accepted presents and gifts from these guys, money and all that, but you never did think about the end time. You never did think about what if my beauty, or what if I get into a car wreck and part of my face is ripped off. When you had freedom to get with one of those men and live your life with him, and be submissive to him, and be a wife that you're supposed to be, not out here in these streets gadding abroad, trying to keep up. Listen, I'm telling you this right here. When you start seeing that wrinkle and stuff in your face, all that makeup and stuff is gonna look fucked up in your face. You're gonna look like a doggone, what we call one of them old dogs. Damn, I wish I can. One of them old pit bulls, or not? Yeah, is it pit bull or not pit bull, but one more German pit bulls or whatever with the deep wrinkles in your face. It's gonna look terrible if you trying to put makeup on and hair weave and stuff like that. It's not going to come together. It's going to look bad. Get you a man while you're young, while you're vibrant, and then for the older women, hey, learn how to be submissive. Oh, young women too. But as you get older, you have no choice but to be submissive. Be submissive. If you know how to cook, that's a plus. Just stay in your lane. Pray to the Lord. He can bring a man, a man towards you. It might be a young man or it might be an older man. Because there are some guys in their 70s love women in their 50s because you're gonna always be his young tenderoni, his young woman. So you might have to continue looking up that ladder instead of some guy your age or younger. You might have to go up that ladder for the older women. But don't be shocked when the older women get somebody the younger than you. Since you 45, going going up to 50. We all got to get there. We all gonna age. We all gonna get old. Man, we can accept it because we get better as we get older. And you have some women, again, like I said, you have some women as they get older, they look good. They look better in their 50s and 60s than they did in their 20s and 30s. For some women, that's how it happens. But a lot of you women that's walking around here with Holly nothing on, you advertising your body. Sooner or later, your body is gonna fly away like train smoke. It's here, and in the next second, it's gone. I see a lot of women on Instagram, showing off their bodies, shaking their ass and stuff like that, and it's all cute right now. And you single, you love throwing that out. I'm single. And that's why a lot of guys ain't gonna take you seriously. They just gonna use you just like going to a shooting range. When you go to the shooting range, guess what you want? You want you a new sheet of paper, and that's their woman. And then when you done shoot all them holes in that paper, and not from your gun, from other guys too, their gun going into their paper, and you look at it and you see a clean sheet of paper right next to it, you want to shoot again, you can say, man, put the other paper away, got too many holes in it. I want something new. And then there you go. Then you're gonna see how bad that wall feels when you are not accepted anymore. Your looks is gone. All that attention is not coming around no more like it used to. It have gotten quiet. Them guys around you are now playing the quiet game. They ain't saying a damn thing when they're around you. I'm sorry. I know I'm not. I'm just giving you facts. And like, hey, listen, let me tell you, and for you old niggas, man, stay out the damn club. Don't be going in them damn club with them young folks and get your ass whooped. That's a terrible thing. You damn near 80 years old and you trying to get with a 30, 40-year-old woman or whatever. She using you for your money and stuff like that. You simping, and you going in there and you trying to do the Harlem Shake and end up having a heart attack and and haul out and hit somebody because you trying to tap them on the shoulder and try to, somebody, try and get somebody to help you to get up out of there, and they full of Hennessy, and they thinking you trying to show out, and you hit them, and they whooping your ass, and that's why you having a heart attack. Sit your ass down. You go find, get you a young woman or older woman and go sit down too. All right, well, I'm gonna end it right there. I don't know what I'm gonna label this, but it is what it is. Shalom.